Hey everyone! So you can tell I've been playing with some popsicle sticks. Oh my goodness, I love this so much. Which I had done this in a video before where I made some popsicle sticks, but I have been sent a picture by a friend of mine that she found on Pinterest, and that inspired all of these other ones. And I just think they are so cool. Now, these are the ones I had made previously, and I had painted them. I had done some distress ink on them and put little charms, eyelets and charms. But hers were more of the whitewash that she had sent me, and they had painted on them and just used twine to tie. And that inspired me to do so many more things. So I had done some smaller ones where I embossed them like this. So I embossed some of these, and as you can tell, I've used some book page on some, and then I just distress inked some. And this really doesn't need to be a tutorial, but I thought we could make some of these together. These two I whitewashed and used, well, this one I just painted. This one I used whitewash. Doesn't really tell much difference. And then some distress inks. Um, This one I love. Oh my goodness, this is maybe one of my most favorites. I love these so much. This one has a little rub-on it. I think those really turn out cute. Did some stamping. I love this one. I had one that was kind of a patina color, and I don't know what I've done with it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. And I've done some patina ink and whitewashing, just different things to try to, I don't know what look I was going for. This one is Rusty Hinge. But I thought we could make some of these together. I think they're so fun. So much fun. So the embossing, you can see I've done some with and some without. Well, these are without the embossing. You don't have to have an embosser. I do have a couple of tips if you're going to emboss, which you probably already know. To emboss them, if you're going to paint, emboss them first. Um, because otherwise your paint will come off in your embossing machine. If you're going to put something like the book page on, put the book page on, then emboss. And that, I guess, that was the extent of my tips. But let's make some of these. I've already painted some. These I used distress ink only. I didn't do any whitewash. This one I used distress ink and some whitewash. And then I've embossed some of these. And this one I've just used a little bit of distress ink so far. I don't think I've painted on that one. This one is painted and embossed. And like I said, I did the painting two ways. I did it kind of like a whitewash where I watered down my paint, and then one where I just put the paint on. And this was the color that I used. Parchment by Liquitex. I really liked that color. And then most of the distress ink, like on the darker ones, on these, this one, and this one, was the Stays On Timber Brown. And that's what I used around the edges of this one. Here's the difference between the Stays On Timber Brown and the Vintage Sepia. There's really not a lot of there's really not a lot of difference. Just one's a little bit, teeny bit darker than the other. I think they both look great. And I think there's so many things, seriously, you could do with these. You could put wallpaper on them. If you knew how to draw things on them. You can stamp. You can put eyelets in or just punch holes. You just have to be careful when you're punching the holes. I say be careful. I don't know there's a way to be careful, but it is possible that you'll split it. And then you just cut it off. round it again. I did that part with scissors. I also have somewhere in this mess some Christmas ornaments I think would be neat to maybe hang a bulb pin or put a jump ring in here and hang I say ornaments, I mean like little charms, some jingle bells, so many things you can do with these. They could be bookmarks. If you had a vintage Christmas, you could hang them from the tree. You can put them on packages and, as an extra bookmark gift. I just think they're really cool. So I have, like I said, I have some here. I've got one that I've painted and embossed. And again, all I did was paint with this kind of paint. Or if I use distress inks, I'll show you one of those. I use distress inks and I use the stays on. Either one works just fine. This one, I think I used a little bit of everything. I'm just going to get some of my packaging out here so I'm not getting it everywhere. Hopefully that's not shining too bright in your face. But so after I embossed, then I painted, let that dry. I just took my ink pad. I like the darker better on the whitewash. And just went over it lightly. Just however you do, you're not going to mess it up, like that. And I thought that actually bringing the pad to the popsicle stick just made it easier for me to control how much and where I wanted to put it. And it also made it darker. I didn't leave so much on my, my ink brush. But another thing is make sure and have a napkin handy so that if you do put where you don't want, you get it quick enough, you can get it right back off. And then I just went around the edges like this. Not completely covering them because I liked some of the white. I'm trying to make it look like some of it worn off. And actually, when I started doing them, I tried sanding some, and honestly, I liked this look better. I liked how that went on better than the sanding. So that easy, we have one done. If you want to do one that's not painted, just take your distress inks and go over it lightly, and it will pick up on that embossing, and then you have a whole nother look. You could hang fibers from the end of it, like it would be your bookmark with a bunch of different fibers and things. I just love them. I think they look so cool. And I know if you're popsicle sticks at a secondhand store, or you can find them for nothing. And it seems like most secondhand stores in the craft areas, they usually always have. By the way, my grandson found my little vacuum. Look at there. Cool, cool. Look. Not that you can tell because my thing is so painted up. But anyway, as I was saying, and then how I also, once I punched the hole, and I used the smaller one, like this, I took a Q-tip, but you could do this with, I was thinking like one of those makeup sponges you could run in there. I like to put some, that's how I did the holes. And then I just brought some down to make it look like, it was, I don't know, really distressed. So there is that one. Let's do this one in a different color. Let's see, what can we do with this one? How about some forest moss? And, oh, I wanted to show you another thing. If you want the underneath to look like a color, and then where you can go on the top, what I did was I took one of these kind of brushes and just brushed it on where it got down in those crevices. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, just to get the look of it down in there. Because if you go over it in whatever color you want at the end, then you can't really see the underneath. Then I just take like this color over the top a little bit. And I'm doing that really lightly because I'm just mainly wanting to get the embossed part, not the whole stick. And that way you kind of have a two-tone. You have the dark underneath, and then you have the green that just hits the embossing part. And then I like to come back with my darker color and go around the edges. Maybe bring the dark color down a little bit onto it. Kind of like that. Kind of fade it out, maybe. I don't know if you can tell it, that green. It is really pretty. Really, really pretty. I love it. And then like on this white one that I painted, ooh, I do like the whitewash with the dark. But you can do it like with the patina too. Or, you know, any color. And it just changes it so fast. And it just, oh, I love it. I love the way it looks. So easy. Isn't that cool? This is one of the easiest things, I think, to decorate. So I think I'm going to do some stamping on these. I might just wait until I get ready to put them in a journal where I know if they're going to be Christmas or not. But I love the whitewash with the staining on top. And I did that, like I inked it first with my vintage sepia. And see how this doesn't go down in those little grooves? If you use a brush like this, then you can get down in there and it'll fill them in better. But just, of course, running it over the top doesn't do that like I was doing. So if you want those to be filled in a little better, just use your brush. And it will, you can't tell it here, but I promise it has filled that in. I can't tell much difference in that, but it's the truth. It does. Wonder if I could hold it. You can see that it's tinted as where this up here isn't yet. Maybe I can show you now. I don't know if you can see the difference, but it does make a difference. I could tell the ones I haven't run it across. So now that we've done that, let's take a little bit of our white paint, just for fun here, and say we done it all. I'm just going to use any old brush, and it doesn't matter if you water this down. I did because I tended to be heavy-handed, imagine that. So because I was watering it down, it made it easier not to put so much in one spot. You could use, gosh, colored paints too. Some more water on my brush. Got a little more there than I wanted, so I'm going to wipe a little bit of it off. And I'm going to come back to make it look a little... And when that dries, I will probably... See, it's already kind of dry on this side. If this was a stiffer brush where it would drag more, that would probably be better. Think of all the things that you could use this for. Also, keep in mind when you're doing this, you don't have to be able to see all of your stamps. You know how we're always stamping on bags and sacks and we're just getting part of the stamp. I mean, just like something like this. Take your number stamps or your postal stamps. Let's just do a few on this one. And honestly, if it doesn't come out good, that's good because we're trying to distress it anyway. So I'm not going to even put much on there. I don't... See, I'm just barely dabbing it on there because I really don't want it. Well, I don't guess... yeah, barely. Look, nothing there. Okay, we're going to try that again. I think I'll stamp it off on something first. Probably should at least put some ink on it. That would help. There we go. So I am just very lightly, and I'm kind of tapping it off, doing some stamping there. Something like that. Maybe do a few numbers. And like I said, I'm not letting them come out very dark because I like the fact that it's, you know, looks worn. Like that. See, it's just barely showing up. It'd be fun to... Let's do some paint splatters. You could even do some stenciling. You know, if you had like some that looked like a coffee ring or something, I think that would look kind of cool. Something like that. What do you think? I think we need some on the other side. Oh gosh. Look at it. Isn't that cool? Okay, guys, I hope this sparked some ideas for you or reminded you of some oldies that you used to do like me. Oldie but goodies. I know this was a really short and sweet video, but I hope it inspired you and made you think I have so many popsicle sticks. This gave me a great idea of, however you can do it or change it. And I really, really, really love these whitewashed looking ones. I hope you do too. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.